there's a difference between equality of outcome and equality of opportunity. A requirement that's for your business maybe to access this or your business to do this, you need like 30% of black people within your thing, right? The BEE, what thingy, for you to be approved to operate here like this, you need 30%, right? And this is to correct the ills of the past and stuff like that. I feel like we should have equality of opportunity. So in other words, there should be a space whereby everyone can be able to start their own business, right? But it's not fair to hold someone with their own business with then you want to say equality within that. If you think about women in sports and how they will complain how men make so much money and stuff like that, right? Over there, right? Cool. Now, I'm saying, but then they say they want equality, you know? That's equality of outcome. You cannot be paid as much as men if your revenue doesn't contribute to or make as much money as men does. Then you can't be paid as much as them. For let's say like education wise, right? If you are saying, for example, I want my kid to go to this school with maybe these kids who are of a different race, right? Like of white kids, I want them to be in this thing, right? Maybe the schools seem to deny kids of color to come into this school, yeah, you know, then yeah, true, because that's equality of opportunity. Then you are fighting the right cause. But then you shouldn't then say, like at the end, when the kids that are of that maybe a certain thingy, they end up doing well, and then maybe they get better jobs. Now you are saying, hey, why are these ones getting better jobs over? Unless there is like compatible thingy to say, yo, they have as much like in terms of their points, they have as much as, then you have a point. And I'm saying, for me, it's more of equality of opportunity, because equality of outcome is not fair.
And then you were saying?
Okay, am I good, bro? Like, yo, I hate wearing like this, actually, like having a shirt like this.
It's a good shirt.
Good?
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so this is what I was trying to say, I feel like all the time we find ourselves in this situation whereby even when you support a position, sometimes it's because maybe on the surface it sounds like the correct position. Okay? Mm-hmm. So what do I mean when I'm saying on the surface? Think about something as equality. We would agree, well, it sounds like a legitimate and good like something to get behind. If someone says, JC, we are fighting for equality, join us, we are fighting for equality, we should have equality, you know, we shouldn't have people who are like maybe making all this money above others, who are richer than others and whatnot. That sounds legitimate to me, until we get to what is equality exactly that we're trying to get to. Now, I'm saying there's a difference between equality of outcome and equality of opportunity. So what do I mean by that? When people are fighting for equality, like in terms of in the South African context, like black and white people versus white people and stuff like that. Okay, so we'll look at situations such as, let's say, a good example, who is a friend of mine, Andrew. I know Andrew, how Andrew started his business. Andrew is a white man, guys. I know, because I was there, I worked with him starting his business, right? Now, Andrew started his business, this is his hustle, right? That's what he's doing. He started his business and I worked with him, we do this thing. I know what he does, you know, maybe he might have an advantage over you, JC, as I said. Even if you started the same business, you might not be able to reach the kind of people he has on his network that he can reach to sell his business, right? But now Andrew, they say, makes his business and the business becomes like $1 million business, right? Now the business is worth millions. Now for Andrew to maybe go public, there's a requirement in South African context, for example, a requirement that's for your business maybe to access this or your business to do this, you need like 30% of black people within your thing, right? The BEE, what thingy, for you to be approved to operate here like this, you need 30%, right? And this is to correct the ills of the past and stuff like that. Okay, cool. To me, this is where I have a problem, right? I feel like we should have equality of opportunity. So in other words, there should be a space whereby everyone can be able to start their own business, right? But it's not fair to hold someone with their own business with then you want to say equality within that. I don't know if I'm making sense.
Yeah.
Let's say, for example, I'm trying to line this up. Okay, let's say another thing. For example, like maybe if just a slight change. If you think about women in sports and how they will complain how men make so much money and stuff like that, right? Over them, right? Cool. Now, I'm saying, but then they say they want equality. That's equality of outcome. You cannot be paid as much as men if your revenue doesn't contribute to or make as much money as men does. Then you can't be paid as much as them. So I feel like the equality that you are looking for in that space is equality of opportunity. So say to me, all the big clubs should have a women club next to them, right? So let's have let's build stadiums also. That's gonna more stadiums so the women will have, let's share the stadium. Men have beautiful stadiums. Women should be able to play their league matches in the same stadium as men, right? Then you are talking about equality of opportunity, right? But then you cannot, then they say now you've gotten your opportunity to do that. Now you don't make as much money with the same opportunity. Do you see? So there's a difference. That's why I say this, right? So I feel like we always fight, like we say we're fighting for equality but people are talking about equality of outcome, not equality of opportunity. And I'm saying, for me, it's more of equality of opportunity because equality of outcome is not fair, right? Because let's say, another thing, for example, is, let's say, education-wise, right? If you are saying, for example, I want my kids to go to this school with maybe these kids who are of a different race, right? Like of white kids. I want them to be in this thing, right? Maybe the schools seem to deny kids of color to come into this school, then true, because that's equality of opportunity. Then you are fighting the right cause. But then you shouldn't then say, at the end, when the kids that are of that maybe a certain thingy, they end up doing well, and then maybe they get better jobs. Now you are saying, hey, why are these ones getting better jobs over? Unless there is compatible thingy to say, they have as much, in terms of their points, they have as much as, then you have a point. But you can't just say, why these ones are getting a thingy job? It's not, because it's not, bro. Then you are talking about equality of outcome that you never achieve. Because me and you, JC, can go to the same school, have the same parents, but not have the same results. I become bigger, you don't make as much money. Or you become bigger, I don't make it. Because that's equality of outcome. Because we don't have the same skill sets. That's what I'm trying to argue.
True.
Yeah. So in these things, those are the type of things that I'm trying to get to, actually. So sorry, what do you want to say before?
No. I was just reiterating that point that you're making. That it's true that it could happen like that.
Yeah.
You could basically be in the same situation. I mean, even sometimes it can even happen to statistically twins, where both of them have the same opportunity, given the same situation.
Exactly.
But then
they don't have the same. Yeah, exactly. And that was my point on the thing that we are trying to talk about. Whether it's between women's rights having equality or black people having, I think that messaging between equality of opportunity and equality of outcome is always mixed. Come to the thing that I've spoken about before. I touched on, but I have more information on it about Starlink as to why Starlink is not coming into SA markets and what happened with Starlink, right? Okay, I'm just on the surface here. There's so much information about this. Okay. Starlink didn't get to South Africa. Can you imagine they're operating in Swaziland, they operate basically everywhere around us, but not South African markets. Okay, cool. Now, why are they unable to cooperate? We all know, by the way, that Starlink, it's a good deal for the individual on the ground. I would argue that. For the individual on the ground, given how high data is and how
it would solve so many problems data-wise,
and also because you remember when you have something like Starlink, you don't have to do the installations of the lines for fiber. Yeah, the lines for fiber. Remember this, for you to install Wi-Fi in the house, you have to have a fiber, right? Lines that are going around communities. You don't have to do that, right? With Starlink. You can literally have, it has its own thingy. Satellites, and you can connect. So for the individual on the ground, I think Starlink would do amazing, given how data is already expensive in South Africa. And also the network is poor. The data is expensive, but the network is poor. Vodacom, Telkom, MTN, all of them, poor network connections, right? Now, why Starlink is unable to. So, I forget this guy's name, but I'm gonna get the name of this guy actually, who always covered these things on YouTube. Actually, he's very good. I love him actually, but I just disagree slightly with his position on this. I agree and disagree at the same time actually with his position on this. I need to find his name actually. Now, I got most of information from him watching his things. I usually follow him. He knows businesses in South Africa. The argument is that Starlink wants to come in and operate basically. Starlink is disagreeing with so many policies that we already established in SA, especially things around the BEE, Black What's Empowerment, right? Black Economic Empowerment, right? Something like that, right? Yeah. They disagree with most of the policies. Hence, then the deal fell apart, and Starlink is illegal basically in South Africa as things stand. Right, so they're not operating there in the market. So what he was saying, what they are defending, because not only him, but what they are defending is that South Africa already has like about Vodacom, MTN, and stuff like that, and introducing Starlink would be a disruption in the South African market, right? Especially with MTN, which is like state-owned, and Telkom and them, right? Because having Starlink, it will be a huge disruption in the business, in the South African companies and stuff like that, right? In that space. That's what they are arguing, right? And because why? For the most part, because Starlink didn't want to sign and agree on the minimum amount of people you should have that are black, those type of things. But where I disagree, as even a black person, I know some people will say otherwise. I think if you're gonna have that type of thing, it should be better, JC, to say a company should, if they have like they say 30 black people or something like that, they should share this certain amount of shares, right, with their employees who are of color specifically. If that's the position you have, right? You want to do the ills and correct the past, right? I would say this is fair for me, right? If they say a company has a requirement, for example, if you have 100 people, you have a requirement to at least have 20 or 30 black people in that 100 people, and the 20 or 30 black people should have shares in your company for you to be able to operate here, right? You should have shares with them. I think that's kind of progressive, right? In my opinion, right? But as much as I agree with that, my problem is that when they say BEE, they are not talking about the employees of the company. They are talking about the politicians. They are saying, for example, if Starlink wants to operate, Starlink should incorporate existing companies that are in the space already in SA in their thing and give them shares on their thing. And the people that you are talking about is the elite, It's
people
not like
who are already valid.
And that's what they always do, Hence, someone like President Ramaphosa is a billionaire. For what? What is a billionaire for? Like, what does he do?
Basically infiltrate the spaces.
Yeah, he's a billionaire through political means. So in other words, you are a billionaire because you have political strength. So then a person can operate because you can let them operate or afford them a space to operate if they have you on with shares on their thing. Do you see? And that's where the problem is, right? Because it's not like they're the people that will benefit. Because
people who are working,
who
are in the.
Do you see the difference? Because if you are saying this, because if we are saying if Starlink comes and hires people, then maybe you are forcing them to hire like this amount of black people, right? Which are always debatable actually, because that's also I always ask myself, like, even when they don't qualify, because that's what ends up happening. You're looking for like Starlink is a big company.
So
if you are in SA and you need a high quality thingy, if you cannot get them, then what? Because not to say, by the way, before black people because I know some black people say, you think we don't qualify? No, they are, but you're not gonna get everyone that you're looking for.
Yeah.
If you work like that. You know, so that is very questionable. If you work like that, you're not gonna get 100% of everyone that you are looking for, because then now you're stuck. You're looking for 5 black people who have a PhD in technical what, and you can't get them. Now you have to be black now because you have your quota.
Because you were told that you have to.
Yeah, because of the quota that you need to meet. So, you know, I get the position and why that has to happen.
But it's
I
just
understand
not
it.
happening the.
You know, yeah, it's just like sometimes also you have to question like you have to question like the procedures into that as to how are they supposed to get that when they don't have the quality they are looking for an example, right? But to hold them to have shares, totally agree that they should have some shares to address that. But then you cannot then in that want them to collaborate. Can you imagine, Brad? They say bring a stranger to your table. That's what they're asking these companies to do. Bring a stranger that you don't know, that is not working for your company. Like all of a sudden you are forced that you have to work with them. I think that just doesn't make sense. So that's why the deal with Starlink failed, actually, because they are literally forcing them that they need to collaborate with and pay this have this many people on their board for like BE purposes and whatnot and what's not.
It's really strange how basically something that could help change a nation in terms of people's intellect and people's access to things is being basically stopped.
Yeah.
Because of political gains.
Yeah. By the way, when Vodacom, I've seen this so many times, the Vodacom, MTN, when these networks are asked about why amount of data, the data is so expensive in South Africa, particularly compared to most countries. South African data is so expensive, even more than Nigeria and Ghana. We already know that, right? They're very expensive. They said it's because of the amount of taxes that the government placed on them. Because if the government puts as much tariffs on them, they have to push the tariffs to their customer. So that's why data is so expensive in South Africa. Apparently we have legislations and a higher amount of tax compared to the other countries. So let's just I don't know the exact numbers, I'm making an example. Let's say Nigeria, for an example, tax them to operate in Nigeria, because it's the same. This is weird. It's the same company. Data sold by MTN in Nigeria is not the same amount of data sold by MTN in South Africa. So let's say if you're in Nigeria, you can get 5 gig for 20 rand. In South Africa, you can get 5 gig for 100 rand.
That's double.
Yeah, they're more than double. But the reason for that, they are saying, is the percentage of tax that is added on them, the tariff in a way that is added on them by government in South Africa. So that makes it then expensive to operate in South Africa, like as an entity like them.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's it, bro.
That's it, man.
So yeah, D, send me. Let me see that comment, girl. Like, bring it on, bring the fire. I'm ready. Shots, man.